Oh hi, I didn't see you there. I was just about to usurp this foolish king from his throne. So, this is Super Scribblenauts for the Nintendo DS, a sequel to regular Scribblenauts, also for the DS. Scribblenauts is a puzzle game in which you use words to create objects to solve puzzles. So, the main two differences between this game and the original Scribblenauts is, first of all, this game doesn't control like garbage, because you can actually use the pad rather than just control movement with a touchscreen. Second off, and I guess more importantly, adjectives are a thing now. You could apply adjectives to words in normal Scribblenauts, but they didn't actually change the noun, and all they did was break the game. Here, though, adjectives will actually change, or modify rather, objects, such as, say, a molecular king being far smaller than a normal king that you could spawn in. You know, just an example. So, since this is a thread for the LP Zone's Puzzle Games Megathread, I'm going to be doing an abridged run of Scribblenauts. I went through the game once and basically just picked out which stages I thought were a good representation of the game, and, well, that's what I'm rolling with. Of course, this is a game for children, so sometimes the puzzles are a little on the easy side, but I still think the game's overall pretty fun, and, you know, just it's cool. It's as cool as this throne I'm creating in the place of the former golden throne that the previous king sat upon, fool as he was. So anyway, yeah, now that I've taken over, let's start. Oh yeah, by the way, that character you see on the top screen right there, and you're gonna see right here, that's Maxwell. He's the default character, but you can, like, buy other characters to use, so I went with the hairstylist because she looked cute, so you're not actually really gonna be seeing much Maxwell. Anyway, so the goal of each stage is to collect a Starite. That right there's a Starite. You can tell because it's twinkling. So yeah, first puzzle's pretty easy, it's just figure out which one's different, and you could, like, use a ladder or fly up there, but personally, I'd prefer to physics that Starite down. Boop. And, oh yeah, we might want to get to that, because the Starite does have health. That doesn't come into play very often, but, I'd rather not fail the first stage because the goal got mauled by a bear. Anyway, so, we're in stage 1-4. Let's learn about the UI a bit, shall we? So first things first, if you look on the top screen, at the very top of it you have a progress bar. 2 circles means we have to create 2 objects, but apparently creating a second sun doesn't heat the party up. So what if we made a cool sun? You know, a sun that's here to party. The little pencils at the bottom are basically just a difficulty indicator, and the thing at the very bottom is basically how many objects we can create, such as, what if we just made God? Really, guys? God just appeared from thin air and this joint isn't hopping? Yeesh. Fine, I know what you guys want. Here, have a party. No, that's not it. Alright, we could try to make beer, but do remember this is a kid's game, so certain words they aren't in here. Because, of course, beer doesn't exist to children. You can't conceive of alcohol until you're at least 21. So let's actually try solving this puzzle now. We do want to drink, but soda, of course, is more child-friendly, so we'll make that. Excuse me? That's for the entire beach party. Who said you could just drink the soda? Oh well, as you can see from the progress bar at the top, even if the object you created is destroyed, it still counts for the total progress, so we have a caffeinated baker and a boombox. What a wild party, guys! Oh, I'm sorry about that. God appeared and you weren't at all impressed by that. Alright, well, anyway, the merits are basically the achievements of the game. You get them from just doing weird stuff. And I'm probably not going to get them all just because I'm not really going out for them. I just got the ones that you're pretty much always going to get. For example, the one you'll probably get from this stage, which we'll see in a bit. We have to cause an extinction, so if you could just all get in the bathtub. Alright, well, I guess they don't feel that dirty, so we'll just repair our apocalypse. If you could move out of the way, thanks. There we go. And I got a merit for, I guess, putting an object in another object, and then in a third object, because, not to spoil anything, but there is an object in that toaster, by which I mean toast. Holy shit! Okay, so I tried killing the dinosaurs with a giant Mozart, but now that pterodactyl fucked him right up. Well, I kind of want to try that again, but what if I don't want to input that entire word? Well, if you use the fourth icon on the bottom, you can recreate the last object you used. So this time I'm going to create another giant Mozart, but this time I'm going to make him strong. Alright, fuck him up, Mozart. You got this. Come on, you're stronger than the last one. It's in your word. You put the actual adjective strong in and it's not enough. Alright, what if he rides the pterodactyl and befriends it? Yeah, that's right. Fuck him up. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were an impatient apocalypse. Look, I'm a human being, so I have experience with extinction, and let me tell ya, we do the slow, steady extinction perfectly well, thank you very much. Anyway, I should add that if you recreate the last object you used, remember back on the title screen when I used the shrink ray? Or I used the cage rather, sorry, Freudian slip, and it asked me what kind of cage I wanted. If you recreate the object, it will actually just automatically go with what you last used, so if I recreated that one, it would have been another bird cage. Anyway, I brought up the shrink ray because I feel this is a good way to introduce the fact that certain adjectives are actually kind of different, even if they might be similar. Like, you might think tiny and molecular are the same, but they're not. You will get different sizes of dinosaur depending on which adjective you use, so the shrink ray is very helpful in figuring out sort of the order of sizes for what the game considers to be what size. Okay, Triceratops, that was actually pretty badass. I am impressed that you managed to do that. Anyway, adjectives can also be important because you can make something invincible, like the steamroller that now can't be destroyed. Okay, not to say that was going to work, but like, a tire died. That wasn't a dinosaur. Alright, let's just get straight to the point. You can create a different kind of apocalypse just by typing in flood and dropping it. Whoop, and we die. There is an achievement for dying at the same time you grab a starite, so that was a great ending. Anyway, yeah, that's another merit. Alright, so, here I'm actually going to show off one gameplay thing that I'm kind of... we'll just go with that. I'm kind of on it. So this is a fairly simple stage, we just have to destroy the ice, so let's set it on fire. Oh, that didn't really work, actually. Okay, so that's some pretty cold ice. I don't know why she's getting so close to it. Okay, so, what if I made a fire bear? Well, that doesn't work. Now, while fire bear is definitely an enemy in some RPG, fire, of course, is a second noun. You can't have two nouns when you're creating an object. So we're going to have to say flaming bear, because that's a bear on fire. That being said, the fire did not help, and now the bear is very angry at me. So this would be a good time to point out the fact that I am doing this on an emulator, and making it really difficult to pull up the notebook to maybe put a saddle on it so I could ride it, or to lift it into the trash bin. You know, just a little bit difficult to do more than one thing at once. Anyway, let's try a fire vent. This is going to be a fairly prevalent object later on. Okay, fine. Let's just do this ourselves then. If fire's not going to work, let's use a chisel. So yes, the object here is not to melt the ice, though I'm sure there are some methods to do that, provided the fire doesn't contact the ice, or use a certain adjective, but the more reliable way is to break it. Anyway, once you complete a stage once, if you enter the stage again and it has a crown over it, the game will actually make you play it 3 times in a row. Basically, if you beat it 3 times in a row, each using a different solution, then you will, I guess, crown rank the stage, you'll make the crown gold, whatever you want to call it. You have to beat a stage 3 times in order to fully clear it. Sometimes. Not all the stages make you do that, like the first stage didn't have a crown, because it's super simple. I don't really know how I feel about this. I get it, like, they want you to be able to solve puzzles with similar methods, you know. Here's an object that can do this, now think of 2 more that can do a similar thing. And I kinda get that, and at times it is actually kinda fun to make up different solutions for each puzzle. Other times, though, it's super boring, and wow, that does not work. You can drive vehicles, by the way, but that's not going to help because it's on its side, and I can't reposition it because it's technically in the ceiling. If you try to place most objects in a floor or wall or ceiling, it'll turn red and you can't actually place it, so you know what, screw it, let's just use a bat. Let's just be direct again. And we'll fuck it up. But anyway, yeah, as you can see from here, you can have a little bit of fun with these sorts of things, you know, try to think of different solutions, but most of the time, coming up with 3 different solutions in a row is just kinda boring, or at the very least, super slow. And honestly, the worst ones are the adjective stages, but I don't remember how many of those I actually played, but I'm sure I included at least one of them in here. So, the last stage of World 1 is pretty simple. You just have to make weapons. Alright, well, if I know weapons, I know I should give you a sword. And of course, you get an axe. And you, of course, if these guys would get out of the way, let's give Mozart a lance. Excuse me, a lance is completely different from a sword. Anyway, yeah, you can't repeat, like, character types, so if a person turns into a knight, another one can't turn into a knight. Alright, so let's make a baton and have Beethoven fight with that. No? Doesn't work? Alright, well, I guess Hyrule Warriors lied to me then. Alright, fine. You know what? We'll just give Mozart a fucking gun. Here. Oh, he's a... that's kind of unfortunate. Oh well. Last dude, you know what? The last stage proved that the bat is an extremely effective weapon. It can destroy a large chunk of ice, and yes, an athlete is actually a type that can repel invaders, apparently. Honestly, I kinda wish I gave him a soccer ball because I kinda hope that works. Really should try it. It would be easy enough to go back. Anyway, we're gonna move on to World 2, starting with Stage 2. Probably because Stage 1 is boring, and I've already forgotten what it is, so there. Okay, well, that's easy enough. Let's just get a lion here. And now, it's far less safe on the cliff than it is down there. Alright, I solved this one. Come on, let's go. There you go. Oh, I've got a parachute? Cool. Okay, in fairness, I kinda should have seen that one coming. Okay, this time, I've got a pretty good idea. Now, this is a solution we've seen before, because we're bringing back the trusty old shrink ray. So, we'll just shoot... Oh, didn't mean to do that to him. Probably was too close to actually shoot him. So hopefully there is a growth ray, but for the time being, we're going to shrink this man until we can hold him in the palm of it. Oh, you're hard to hit when you're tiny. Okay, so if we get you down to molecular size, we can drop this and pick you up. There we go. Alright, and since I have a parachute, we're going to be A-OK. And we made it. No need to be scared. Oh, come on! Of course he didn't have a soft landing when you made him explode. By the way, you can tap the screen if you want to skip that little intro. And I can't give him my parachute either, really? Okay, fine, you know what? Here's some advice. Go jump in a fucking lake, dude. Just, here's a lake. This is one of the few objects that can be put in the ground, and in fact has to be, and apparently that works. Apparently it works if he just jumps hundreds of feet in the air into a lake, whatever. It probably wasn't enough height to make the water lethal or whatever. It's fine. Alright, so stage 2-3. Easy enough. King of the Jungle needs rest? Okay, well, simple. Gonna make him a bed. Alright, puzzle solved. There you go, Leo. No? No, I get it, you have insomnia. Alright, well, who could help a lion with insomnia but a zookeeper? Alright, gonna go to sleep? Alright, well, I guess that's important information. A zookeeper can calm an angry animal, but instead I think we're gonna have to go with a sleeping potion. So potions are handy items because whatever adjective you apply to them will be applied to whoever you use the potion on. Unfortunately, you can't use potions on yourself, which kinda sucks. So let's just use this potion on the lion and pet him. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that, but since he got a moment of sleep, he's a-okay. He took a cat nap, and then I kinda stimulated him by petting him, so I guess if nothing else we learned that lions really are just big cats in personality as well as species. Or genus, or whatever. Don't make me remember science words right now. This mission's also pretty simple. Just close one door, open the other, and lead the lion into the next room with whatever you want. I'm gonna go with meats. There we go. I guess it's gotta be closer. Okay, once that happens, press the Maxwell button in the top corner to instantly zip back to normal Maxwell. Forgot to mention that thus far, and to really throw these guys off, let's put a normal lion in there. Hey, it works. See, we did it. Of course, this lion isn't friendly like the other one is, so the audience is gonna have to deal with that one. Anyway, yeah, I did actually forget to mention the stuff on the top left, didn't I? That's my bad. The thing on the very top left, the magnifying glass, lets you basically just see what an object is. So if I were to look at the guitar, it would tell me it's a guitar. It's pretty useful if you can't figure out what an object is on your own. Anyway, I think it's pretty obvious that this kid wants to be a bear when he grows up, given the stuffed animal. And a football player. And, probably a rocker. And we're gonna need one more dude because apparently bear wasn't the correct choice. Whoops, sorry about that. Hey! You just stole that guitar! I know there's a bear in the room, but you did just steal a child's possession, you jerk. Anyway, let's get out of here before that bear tears this place apart, as bears are wont to do. Anyway, tune in next time for more words and probably more bears in Worlds 3 and 4.